Gossip Curl, the podcast about all things hair. Hello and welcome back to another episode of Gossip Curl. My name is Hadnet Tesfai. I am your host, and today we're getting into something that some of you might have already played with, and that is hair color. How to do it, what you have to think about before getting to the salon, what you have to think about when you do it at home. And we're going to dive into that with someone who's been doing hair color for I don't know how long, but welcome back, Ian Mayer-Marszalek. Hi, Ian.
This has got to be out of any topic that Gossip Curl has had me as a guest on to talk about, my most passionate subject.
The thing is that you do teach 5-day courses about this. So what we're trying to do today,
boil that down.
We're trying to do that today is to squeeze it into 30.
Yeah.
Maybe 40. Let's see where we land.
Yeah.
So Ian, let's get into it. Hair color.
Yeah.
What is the first thing you have to consider when even thinking about getting hair color or doing hair color?
Sure. So I would like to take us on like a little journey from like the very beginning about like a little bit about how hair color works.
Right.
And to understand how hair color works, let me just give you like a quick lowdown on like the strand of hair as like a structure. Yeah.
Yes. So we're talking about a single hair.
Yes.
Okay.
So in essence, there on textbook, there's 3 parts of the hair. We're going to focus on 2. When you think about a strand of hair, like if you think about like my finger hair, on the inside, that's where your natural melanin that make your hair color what it is, that's where they live.
Inside, in the middle.
You got it. Yep. On the outside of everybody's hair, we have the cuticle layers. And like, if you're a savvy hair person, like you've heard the terms cuticle layers, sealing them, coating them, you know. Yeah. So really cuticle layers, think of them as like shingles on a roof that overlap each other, or like fish scales.
Right.
When they are flat, that's when light can reflect off of them. And that's what we as humans perceive as shine.
Right.
When the cuticle's all jacked up and kind of like, meh, it doesn't look shiny.
Right.
So to understand the hair structure at its very basic form first is where I would start.
Okay. So we have those layers.
Yes.
And where exactly does hair color sit? Because our natural hair color, you said, sits in the very middle.
Yes.
Right.
So it depends on the kind of color you're talking about. By and large, there's roughly 4 categories of color. There's a lot more if you want to get into it, but there's temporary, there's a semi-permanent,
yes.
Then there's a demi-permanent, and then there's permanent. I think the only confusing thing there could be permanent is permanent color that, you know, you put it on, it goes in, does its job, it's permanently there in essence. Right. Temporary, you put it on and it literally stays for like a hot minute and then it's gone.
Right. It washes out.
Yeah.
Right.
Semi-permanent lasts a little bit longer than a temporary, and a demi lasts even longer than that before you get into permanent again. Okay. So really the 4 types of hair color are about longevity, from least to most, temporary, semi, demi, permanent.
Okay. And does that have to do with the formula of the color, or does that have to do with where it sits on your head, on your hair?
Okay, I like where you're going. Yeah. A little bit of both.
Okay.
So when we talk about the hair structure, again, in order for me to have a color go inside of your strand of hair, which is, for example, a permanent color,
right?
I need to open the front door of that strand of hair, meaning I need to lift or like swell open the cuticle layer.
Right.
What does that is anything alkaline.
Okay.
So like, what is alkaline? Like ammonia that you keep under your sink. Different kinds of soaps can be alkaline, like pH scale, acids, lemon juice, all that. Alkalines are like bleaches, ammonias, things of that nature. So anything on the alkaline side is going to help open the cuticle layer, which means hair color can go inside.
Gotcha. Okay, so let's look at the stuff you can get at home and the stuff that you get at the salon. Where's the difference there?
That's a really good question. I work for a professional brand, and we've got, just for example, within our permanent color range, over 100 colors.
Wow.
So, but when you're at a drugstore or a pharmacy or something, you've got maybe 20 to 40, maybe 50 different colors that are meant for everybody. So the difference is, professionals like me, I've gone through training to really understand what all of those 100 plus tubes mean. And then it's up to me and my creative little brain up here to take this one and this one and this one and mix them together based on what I know about your hair.
And based on what I want to achieve.
And also based on what you tell me. Because I cannot tell you often enough, if you're listening, don't lie to your hairdresser. It will only hurt you in the end. Because if you tell me, oh no, I've never colored my hair. And I believe you, and you have hair past your shoulders. And to you, you're like, I have never colored my hair, but you did it 4 years ago.
Oh, it's
still there.
Somewhere.
There's still a haunting little ghost of that color past a long time ago.
And it will show up during the process.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
So to come back to your question about what's the difference between color at home and color in the salon, I have tons of choices that I can mix in salon based on how creative I want to be, what you want, and then also what you tell me about your hair. At home hair color, the pigments that are in each box are a bit broader. Right. So they just cover more, I guess the best way to put it is they kind of cover more potential outcomes within a range of people. So if
they cover a bigger spectrum.
Correct.
Right. Okay, gotcha.
So you have medium to dark brown hair. If you went to the section that has medium to dark brown shades, whether it's chocolates, coppers, neutrals, ashy, that's kind of the range that you would fall within to change your hair color. Of course, you can go lighter. Of course, you can go darker. But within that little subset of colors, it's a very broad range to give you an expected outcome versus letting you, a store shopper who goes in and is I'm going to color my hair, and then giving you 150 choices. Would you really know what to do with them?
No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't probably see the difference as well.
Sure.
Would I see the difference?
I mean,
with an untrained eye, if you gave me 25 browns, I'd be like, sir, all of those are brown. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, you might see a difference, but would you know the intended outcome of why you would use one over the other?
Okay.
That might be an episode part 2 of hair color is what you've got in the bottle or the bowl plus what's ever on or in your head is what gives you the outcome.
And just to think about, again, this coloring your hair at home, does that color give me more room for error?
Yes.
It does, right?
100%.
It has.
Yep.
It has to.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's ultimately, you just put it perfectly.
Yeah.
That is probably the biggest difference is that the color you can use at home, just it covers a little bit more bases than the individual teeny tiny choices that we have in a salon. But then we were trained to do that. So that's ultimately the difference. They're both phenomenal quality.
Right.
They both serve the same purposes for the people who are using them, whether it's at home or in salon or both. They're just a different customer.
Before we go into the salon, let's stay at home with the color home for a little bit, right? So what are the most common mistakes people make when they color their hair at home?
Yeah.
So you've done all the work. You've been to the drugstore. You've been to the pharmacy, wherever you get your hair color. You picked a color. You're now at home. What do?
I'm going to give you some visuals to think about.
Yeah.
So you're at the grocery store, right? And you're standing behind this woman who has kind of brighter gray roots. And then a little bit out, they're kind of colored, but still gray roots. And at the ends, it looks like muddy black. You can see this woman, yeah?
I do,
okay.
Yes.
So what that is if you're trying to cover your gray hair at home,
right,
she needs a touch up.
Right. Right.
But sometimes what people do is they'll take the hair color that they've got and they'll put it all over their whole hair. Which, I mean, I guess if you don't know, you don't know.
Right.
But what are you trying to achieve? You're trying to achieve coloring those gray roots.
Right.
So put the color where the gray roots are only.
Only.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because your hair down here is already colored.
Okay.
So what happens is when you put color on top of color, it deposits again and again and again and again until the ends just become like this dark, muddy, messy black hole of hair color that's been built up. God knows how many times you've done it. And then when people try to go and lighten that hair, I mean, we're talking oranges, pinks, greens, like Halloween extravaganza galore.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That was wrong.
Yeah, it can be.
And that was so wrong for you to say it like that.
I mean,
okay, so the biggest mistake is like going over when retouching your color, whatever it is underneath. Doesn't have to be gray. It could be just like a, I don't know, Straßenköter blond, we say in German, you know, like a really, really like dark blonde could be. So just go over that part. Only go over the new growth, right? Yep. All right. Okay. Never go over and over. Because what happens is sometimes, and I see why people are inclined to do that, right? Yeah. Because after, let's say, summer, right, you don't, like, your color doesn't have the same vibrancy like it did, like, you know, like in spring when you had it, whatever, right? So the summer, and I know we have an episode coming up on bleaching only, but color does fade. So I do see that even though if you're just trying to touch up the roots, why people would feel the need to go over their lengths again.
So I'm going to let you in on a little insider tip here.
Go ahead.
Let's say you are doing like a brown or like a reddish or copper or something. And I do want to touch up just the regrowth area.
Right.
Okay, cool. But now you're telling me not to put that color on the rest of my hair, which needs refreshing.
Right.
So what I would do, and this is a rule that we kind of learn in cosmetology school, permanent color. Remember what I said? It opens the cuticle and it goes inside.
Right.
That's what you're looking for when you're trying to cover your gray roots.
Right.
But the hair down here already has color in it. And yes, it might be faded, but that foundation of color is there. So all you need is something to refresh.
And how do I refresh?
You would choose something that is a demi, semi, or a temporary color, which essentially, like a semi or a temporary color, they don't have ammonia. And so the cuticle doesn't open.
So they sit on top.
They sit on top. And that's what color refreshing is. Like it when the light shines off of that strand of hair that's been beautifully refreshed with like a temporary or like a gel or a color or like a semi-permanent color, that's when you see that vibrant copper again.
Gotcha.
And then in combination with the permanent that you needed at the roots.
Okay. Okay, so just to come back, if you do color your hair at home, do the first application, you do the full head.
Sure.
Right? But every other application after is roots only. If you need a refresh, you do not go in with a permanent color. You go in with a semi or a demi.
In a perfect world, that would be
enough.
The best case scenario.
Okay. How upset are hairdressers when you come in with the mess on your head that you kind of, you know, because you cooked up some at home, thought you were doing good. Yeah. And then like you go to the salon and be like, hey, hi, can you fix this? Yeah. Yeah.
It's happened to me. I would say that kind of depends on where you're at in your career now, knowing what I know. I mean, people are going to play around. I mean, you walk in a store or a drugstore or whatever, and you see these boxes and you see these models that are like gorgeous, that have like whatever the color is that sparks your interest. You're gonna play. Am I mad about it as a hairdresser? No. I will tell you right here on this episode for everybody to know. One, if you lie to your hairdresser and don't tell them the truth about what's going on, not only have you just created a lot more work for them, but I'm going to tell you what, a lot more work means a lot more money out of your pocket. So just be honest and tell them the truth.
Tell them everything.
Yeah, this is what I got going on. They're going to be like, okay. Then I'm going to tell you what's realistic in that appointment today. Don't be coming in with like, silvery green, dark, whatever hair. Be like, I think I want to go platinum, because I'm going to tell you that's a fast no from me.
Yeah.
Today. It doesn't mean it's not going to happen over time, like maybe 2-3 visits, but be honest with your hairdresser.
Okay.
It'll save you time and money and frustration and that whole like bad vibe when like I open a foil and it's like bright pink when I was expecting blonde, and I'm like, okay. So what was it that you did?
Okay. Yeah. You want to come clear now? You want to come clean now?
What was it? There's a talk show in America where like they open the manila envelope on the talk show, and they're like, the proof says, you're well, when we open a foil, that's us opening the envelope and saying, well, you just flat out lied, and I know why.
You lied. Okay, so now we know where the different hair types of hair colors sit, how they work, like you lift the cuticle, you kind of like that's like opening the door, right? Letting in the color.
You got it.
Right. And then, right. Okay. So do you need, do you need to lift? Does every hair color lift, or is that something that only happens when you go lighter? And can you go lighter? And if so, how many levels can you go lighter with at-home hair color?
Okay.
Without bleaching.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, no. That, thank you. That's a big distinction.
Yes.
Only alkaline hair colors can lift. Because I need to open the front door.
Right.
And then what alkaline hair colors do, like I'm brown, I want to be light brown.
Right.
The cuticles open on my hair. It allows that color formula to go inside. And then, have you ever used a box color before? Okay, so you mix.
At least at COVID, I feel like everyone used a box dye before.
So you're typically mixing two things together.
Yes.
One of those is the pigment, and the other one is the oxygen.
Right.
I like to kind of give this analogy that hair color pigments are a little bit like flat balloons. You need oxygen, like from your lungs, to blow up that balloon to make it look like the color it's supposed to look like. Hair color pigments are roughly the same.
Okay.
So if I take a box color that is alkaline, like permanent color, and I try to put that color with nothing mixed with it on my hair, kind of nothing will happen. It might stain it for a minute, but that's it. You need to mix the two because the oxygen is taking those little pigments and blowing them up to size they're supposed to be. But that happens inside of your hair. So imagine.
With the door open.
So the door opens.
Yeah.
The mixed color goes on the hair and it goes inside.
Right.
Essentially, those little flat balloons blow up inside the strand of hair. I rinse everything off, cuticles calm back down and close. Those balloons are trapped inside because they're too big to get out.
Got it. That's how pigment works.
Yep. And then the oxygen that is in that mixed formula is also what does your lifting.
Okay. Yeah, so it does two things.
Yep.
It inflates the hair pigment and it lifts, both at the same time.
Yes,
it lifts the cuticle and it inflates the hair pigment. I feel like I'm a hairdresser now.
I mean, we're getting there.
I feel like I'm like, that's it.
By the end of the series,
give me a mannequin. Like I can do it now. Okay. Right. Okay. So how much the lifting happens, right? How light can you go without bleaching? Because also those would be two different steps, right?
Yes.
If you bleach first and then color.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. In salon, we call that bleach and tone.
Okay.
So it's kind of the same as you would on the street, as it were.
Yeah.
With a permanent style alkaline hair color, I don't know. I can't speak for every brand out there, but I would say, on average, about 2 to 3 levels of good lift is expected. And when I say levels of lift within the hairdresser world, 1 is black and 10 is ultralight blonde. Everything else falls in between. So like a 4 would be like a dark brown. A 5 would be a medium brown. Like a 6 would be a light or dark blonde.
Gotcha.
And everything in between. So when I look at like your hair, because I've because I've used that scale for 20 plus years now, I can say like, no, Hadnet's a level 5. But then I could look
Which I am.
Yeah. Then I look at myself up here and I'm like a level 6 because I'm a good step lighter than you are. So it goes up and down from there. So I'm at the store, picking up a box color. I have level 5 hair. I want level 6 or 7 hair. I can take a box, successfully achieve a lighter color at home.
Right.
Did I just blow your mind?
No, you did. I was like, I can?
Yeah.
I was like, do I want to? Okay. Can you go lighter with semi? I mean, I'm answering that, but I just need to, right?
Yeah.
Can you go lighter with semi or demi permanent hair?
So I'll make it easy for you.
Yeah.
Once you color your hair, you cannot go lighter with color at all, no matter what it is.
You will need bleach.
Yep.
That's it.
The rule in our world of hair color is color doesn't lift color.
Okay. What about virgin hair? Say you have virgin hair that you've never colored. Can you try, like, I just want to dabble. I just want to play. Can you go and try do that with semi-demi hair?
No, the only
color?
thing that will lift your hair is alkaline color, which are the permanent, categorized permanent at the store.
So with semi and demi, you can only go lighter.
Deposit.
Right. You can only go darker.
Yeah.
Deposit
Semis and temporaries, for the most part, demis are deposit. Like, I want to go darker. I want to get a lot of shine. I want to, really richen up my color. The only thing that's going to take you lighter is the permanent colors.
Gotcha. And like staying with the topic of semi and demi at home, and then we're going to go into the salon sphere, is do they ever really fully wash out? Because like in the back of my head, there's this thing where people say, yeah, it says semi and demi permanent, but it never will fully wash out. There will always be a hint left.
My little chemistry brain wants to go nutty right now and tell you, but let me say this. Temporaries and semis basically live on the surface of your hair.
Right.
Temporaries are like maybe like a chalk or a spray or something where you put it on and like in one shampoo, it basically is gone.
Yeah.
A semi-permanent has that little bit more longevity because the color pigments are paired with certain conditioners or things that will kind of make it stick to the hair for a minute. Demi-permanent can be slightly alkaline. Like we're getting into like gray area here.
Without having to mix it in by itself.
A demi is where you do now mix two things together.
You do mix a demi. Okay.
But it's really, really, really low ammonia. So I'm getting just a slight opening of the front door.
Right.
Which means the color can only go in a slight little bit, which means that I'm getting more longevity than a semi because I am opening the door just a little bit. Now, permanent, I'm opening the door.
Fully opening the door. Gotcha. So, okay. How long do you have to wait after first shampooing your hair, after getting color?
So, you said it perfectly earlier. Permanent color, it goes in and those balloons are blowing up, or AKA developing. The lifting from the oxygen is what's, breaking apart your natural melanin to get you lighter. There's a lot going on than what meets the eye at the surface when you color your hair. Chemical reactions, all these things. There's been a kind of rule in the hair color world since I even heard about hair color as a wee child, 24 to 48 hours, almost in line with like perming, like you wait. Yeah. It's not a bad idea. It's not a forced rule so much anymore because technology again has kind of brought us, leaps and bounds into the future. However, if I've opened the door, if I've swelled the cuticle open on my hair, just because I use something to shut it, like an acidic conditioner or an acidic, something, doesn't mean that it just slams shut and that's the end of the day. It takes a minute for those cuticles to actually like calm down.
Right.
And for pHs to kind of get back to normal. So do I hard and fast, you have to wait. No, I mean, you can do whatever you want. But if you really want to try and keep the color you just did, give your hair a break from that chemical reaction and that kind of action that's just happened. And I don't think that 24 to 48 hours is a bad rule to stick by.
Okay.
Yeah.
Doesn't hurt.
Yeah.
You don't have to, but it doesn't hurt.
You got it.
So what can you do to make your color last longer?
So sunscreen for your hair.
That's a thing, isn't it?
100%. So like any sort of like leave-in spray, or some hairsprays have UV protectants in them. Yes. All day. Yes. It's not that cold water will keep your hair color. However, hot water expands things. Heat expands things.
It does, yeah.
So think again about your hair structure. The cuticles will swell just from getting wet. Heat or hot water will swell them even more. So now think about those hair color pigments that are inside. If I go ahead and open the door again, what am I inviting them to do? Leave.
Yeah.
So it's not that cold water is going to keep your hair color, although logically that would make sense. I would just avoid using like really hot water on color treated hair. So sunscreens, avoid super hot water. I mean, if you can avoid shampooing a ton in general, that's going to give you some more longevity, because like some colors out there will say like, 20 shampoos. Well, if they're considering that's like 20 days, then I shampoo every other day, then I might have 40 days with this color, So less shampooing, no hot water, sunscreen. I mean, if there's no reason for you to have your hair out and it's like summertime and you're going for a jog or whatever, cover it up.
Really?
Wear a hat or like a head covering or scarf or something like that. Like the sun is color's worst enemy.
Is it?
Yeah.
Because I feel like I'm a different person after summer with the hair, I mean, I'm like I used to have like this kind of hair, and my hair, and I think that's true for most darker hair colors. Yeah. They develop like this coppery reddish tone, right? So what is it like? Is that a thing that's a sign of, too much sun?
Yeah.
How do other colors kind of develop? Like they feel like a darker color gets reddish. What else is there? A blonde can get like...
Blondes tend to... Well, that's a different... because really, when you're going blonde, you're kind of taking away pigments and leaving the hair in like this blank canvas kind of a state. So for blondes, it's more about what's depositing on the hair, minerals in the water, product buildup, things like that. But you're correct. Darker hair, as it fades, naturally will show a reddish orangey gold color. Now, artificial pigments, hair color you buy or put on, will fade just like any other hair color will. But the one thing I will say that's really important is to buy proper shampoos and conditioners that are on the acidic side of the pH range to really, again, keep the cuticles. Acidity helps keep your cuticles shut. So that's definitely something that you can use to help avoid fading and getting those brassy orange tones with store-bought color.
Okay, okay. So you'd say that doesn't happen with salon?
Oh, 100%.
Color?
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
It does, right?
It's just that when we mix color in the salon, I'm, for you, choosing colors that 4 weeks down the road, I know your hair is going to go a little bit orangey gold. So I'm going to formulate counteractive colors in your formula to make sure that as that as time goes, that doesn't. Okay.
So
happen.
Every color that kind of like gets this like coppery, orangey tone, you will counteract that. I think that's true for every color on the color spectrum. Like everything that tends to get orangey, you will counteract that with what? Blue. Sir.
Yeah, no
what do
joke.
You mean blue?
No, we do have blue like tubes Smurfs? Of hair color. Yeah.
So you mix that into like the colors that you don't want to kind of like get orange.
Well, I'll square up something for you really simple. I think a lot of people out there are like, oh, my hair always, goes brassy in the summer, or I have red tones in my hair. I hate to break it to you, but everybody does.
Okay.
Well,
I mean, I don't even, I'm not even mad. I feel like more comforted by that, to be honest.
Everybody has a combination of pigments in their hair that make it the color that it is. But by and large, I'm talking human population.
Right.
There's a combination of reds, oranges, golds, and yellows in almost every single person's hair.
Gotcha.
And those start to show up when the hair has been affected by like sun and heat and like, you know, oxygen or things like that. So, I mean, yeah, everybody's hair kind of like, have you ever seen somebody who's bleached their hair and it's not quite the greatest job ever?
Yeah, of course.
What color is it?
It tends to be yellow or green sometimes, but yellow most of the time.
Yellow or like a gold or whatever.
Yeah,
That's because all of those pigments live in our hair.
Okay.
So when you try to disturb the other pigments, and then, you know, basically those kind of show up. So it is crazy. And here's like the best way that I can kind of wrap up the conversation about at-home hair color or salon. As a manufacturer, if I made hair color, I wouldn't be putting blue hair color out there for the average consumer because then they would have blue hair. But as a hairdresser and salon with my 150 shades to choose from, Hadnet's formula is going to be mostly, you know,
blue.
I mean, there are those clients. But like if you need, you know, a rich chocolate, but I don't want it to get brassy. And then you also want a little bit of that. I can literally mix 5 things to give you a very customized formula.
That's it.
For you.
Okay. So tell me before I go to the salon, what is it that I as a customer need to do? Apart from being super honest with my stylist. Okay.
Be on time.
Yeah. Okay. Be on time.
Yeah.
Be honest.
Yeah.
What else?
I honestly ask your hairdresser, because if my client is coming in for like an all over lightening, like a bleaching service, I absolutely do not want them to shampoo their hair that day because the natural oils that happen on your scalp kind of act as a buffer to that lightener. But if you're somebody who has like medium brown chocolate hair and you're coming in for a gray root retouch, I do want you to shampoo your hair, because any sort of like chalks or crayons, hairspray, product buildup, excess oil, all of those things sometimes act as a barrier to the color's penetration capability.
Right. Okay. So
ask.
Depending on what, how helpful are pictures that you bring? I mean, they do have to be realistic.
They do.
Or are you going to tell me if they're realistic or not?
I mean, even if it's not, I, as a hairdresser, I live by pictures.
Okay, you do.
Because if you say to me, I want toffee colored highlights. What kind of toffee? Toffee toffee, Snickers toffee, ice cream toffee, you know, pulled toffee, like, and then different parts of the world, like things mean different things. Like now, if you show me a picture and it's of a celebrity, and who cares if she's got a filter on her head? We're using this as common playing ground. So if you're like, I like her toffee highlights, and in my head, I'm thinking that's like a khaki gold color. Like, I'm not going to say that to you.
Yeah.
But at least we're now playing on the same level.
He's thinking it. He is thinking it. Like,
pictures are, I mean, it's so cheesy. I'm going to say this, but pictures are literally worth 1,000 words.
Okay. So instead of like, I mean, a consultation is probably still key, but it's a lot. It's actually super helpful to come with pictures.
Absolutely.
And then you will work your way towards achieving that. Might not be in the first sitting, but you're going to work towards that.
Because then you could even say like, I like this color, but then sometimes you might be telling me like, I like it, like the money piece. That's like a lot of hair as the same color versus just little strands that are the same color. They show up differently, but that could be a whole
Do you know
topic.
that the money piece once gave me chemical bangs?
I'm sure you're not alone.
Oh my God. Like worst mistake I've ever made was like, I want a money piece. Like,
yeah.
I had a money piece for like 3 days and that's it. And then I had bangs. Because it was like, it just broke off. Okay. All right. So I have an idea. Okay. So prepare yourself and be on time, be honest, bring pictures.
Yep.
And then you will have a conversation about what is achievable and what is not and when we need to bleach. And like I said, bleaching is a whole different ballgame, and we have a full episode on bleaching. All right. Okay. Yeah. So that's the preparation that you did. Let's get into the tips. Yeah. What like little nuggets do you have for people? What are the rules of hair color? Let's get into it.
Yeah. So we'll wrap this up with some really nice takeaways. I would say, be honest with your hairdresser if you're going into the salon.
Yes.
Tell them the truth so that they know what to expect. Bring pictures because it's really common playing ground. Mm-hmm. If you're going to do your hair at home, some really cardinal rules that I absolutely, would live by if I, don't overlap, put the color where you need it. If you're going to refresh the color, try to find something that doesn't have ammonia in it to kind of quote unquote pull through on the end so that you're not damaging that hair by opening, closing.
Gotcha.
Keeping it shiny. Avoid super hot water, in showers. Do some sort of UV protection sunscreen for that hair color to keep it as long as possible. Cover it, less shampoos, cooler water, all of that. And then, when we get into blondes, which is, I'm lucky enough to be back for our bleaching and lightening episode, then I'm going to get into like special shampoos that you can use. But for color treated, not bleached hair, but color treated hair, anything on the acidic side of the pH scale will help to keep that cuticle tight and closed and your hair shiny and the color locked in.
Final question. Mm-hmm. How do I know what shampoo and conditioner is on the acidic side? Because that's what I'm looking for, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's a really good question because there might even be shampoos out there that are on the acidic side, but that's not how they're marketed. Mm-hmm. So a safe bet is to look for something, whether you're at the store or in the salon on the product shelves, look for something that says for color treated hair, because I would say for the most part, they're formulated in a way that the person who's buying this is intending to keep what they've just spent a lot of money on. And so it's usually on the acidic side and with special care and ingredients to kind of make sure that everything you've spent money on stays. Because that's shampoos and conditioners. I mean, like you might think your stylist is trying to like upsell you sometimes, but it blows my mind. It really does that people would spend $200-$300 on a hair color and refuse to buy care to support it. Like it doesn't make sense to me, but I mean, you got to pick your priorities, I guess.
And I mean, like maybe that was your $200-$300 or euros, whatever you had.
So then spend $175 and spend the extra money on the shampoo and conditioner.
Budget correctly. Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah, but that was so much. And I mean, I have so many follow-up questions, but we also do have an episode on hair care. So I think we will be back on like what type of hair needs what type of hair care.
Yes.
And I think we will revisit color treated hair as well.
Yeah.
So a lot of that coming up. Find us. You know where to find us. Ian, thank you so much for being here. You. I think I now see how you can speak 5 days about this.
Oh, I mean, I
now see how that's a thing.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing all of your knowledge with us. I hope you learned something today. I did. I'm never going to lie again at the salon. Like I'm going to be on time. I'm going to bring my little pictures. I will never lie. It's like even worse than in church, I must say. Like I'm like so scared to lie now. Not that I have ever, but I will never. Okay. So thank you so much for being with us. This was Gossip Girl, and we'll see you in the next episode. Thank you so much. Bye. Thank you, Ian.
Yeah.
Ciao. Gossip Girl, the podcast about all things hair. With me, your host, Hadnet Tesfai. a podcast from Henkel Consumer Brands, brought to you by the Global Hair Upskilling Team, produced by Bose Park Productions. Executive producers Manjana Dietrich, Sue Holder, and Chris Guse. Editor Ian Mayer-Marszalek. Production Fabio Lautenschläger. Project Management Miki Sitsch. Hair and Makeup Rania Abdurrahman, Ariel Tross. Styling Romina Mann. If you like Gossip Girl, please subscribe to the podcast, hit the notification bell so you don't miss an episode. And while you're at it, leave us a review and tell all your friends about us.